Chapter 4 Magician.
"Who were you expecting?"
he asks.
"The Tooth Fairy?"
He seems like a 13-year-old boy, but when I look really closely, I can see hints of my grandfather. The watery blue eyes, the slightly snarky set of his mouth, the way his eyebrows meet in the middle. Is this some kind of magic? I ask. The boy curls his lips and looks at my mother.
"You're raising my granddaughter to believe in magic? This is what happens when you major in drama."
He says drama like it's a bad word. Whatever, Dad, my mom says, sounding like a bored teenager.
"This is science, plain and simple,"
he says to me, but I don't see anything simple about it and just shake my head. He gives an exasperated sigh.
"It should be perfectly obvious. I engineered a way to reserve senescence through cellular regeneration."
I stare at him.
"In layman's terms, I discovered a cure for aging."
His voice shakes with excitement.
"In effect, I have discovered the fountain of youth."
I don't know what to believe. On the one hand, he sounds just like my grandfather. I'm half tempted to see if he has any soy sauce in the pockets of his jacket. On the other hand, I'm not totally sure I believe any of it. Part of me wonders if this is just some weirdo who stole my grandfather's ring and is tricking my mom. She's a sucker for kids with sad stories. I turn to her. Are you sure it's Grandpa? She rolls her eyes. It's him, all right.
"Of course it's me."
The boy stands indignantly. He whips out an old man's worn leather wallet and shows me his driver's license. My grandfather's cranky face stares back from the photo, and the look in his eyes is the exact same as the boy's face.
"This is so cool,"
I whisper.
"Cool? It's historic. They're going to give me a Nobel."
His voice gets louder.
"Melvin Herbert Sagersky will be a household name."
My mom yawns. She's clearly unimpressed. Or maybe just tired. It is pretty late. I'm going to bed. Why don't you bond with your granddaughter? She gives my grandfather a look. And don't put anything strange in the refrigerator. My mom tells stories of how when she was little, my grandfather would keep experiments in the refrigerator. There would be a stack of Petri dishes next to the cottage cheese and butter. When we're alone in the kitchen, my grandfather's stomach growls loudly.
"Got anything to eat in this place?" he demands. "I'm starving."
There's pizza, I tell him. He stands at the counter and wolfs down the rest of our pizza.
"The lab assistants live on this stuff when they run experiments at night,"
he says. Then he goes to the fridge, takes out the milk, and pours himself a big glass. He drinks it and pours himself another. He waves the carton of milk at me and burps.
"Make sure to take your calcium. Everything they say about bone density is true. I've lost 2 inches in the last 10 years of my life."
"You shrank?"
"The perils of old age," he says.
"At least you got your hair back now," I point out.
"I got back more than my hair."
His eyes glitter.
"My eyes are 20/20, my hearing is perfect, and my arthritis is gone."
He wiggles his fingers. "What did you get picked up by the police for?" I ask.
"They said I was trespassing on private property," he says. "I got let off with a warning."
"Where?"
"My laboratory."
His voice trembles with outrage.
"I practically built that place. I have credits on 19 of their patents, you know. You'd think they'd have some respect."
I nod, even though I have no idea what a patent is.
"Ever since the company bought in those fast-talking investors, everything's been different. It's all maximizing profits this and minimizing risks that. They have no respect for science."
Then he yawns. The energy seems to go out of him in a rush. Like a switch flicked off, and his shoulders slump. The illusion fades, and all at once, he looks like any other tired 13-year-old boy who needs a haircut.
"Where am I sleeping?"
he asks.